ultimately it comes down to religion. And religion here is not just about this person is adherent to their prayers and their fasting and all of that, which are essential. The religion here is about God consciousness, about taqwa. Is this person going to have taqwa in you with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That they're going to recognize that this individual in front of me is a creation of Allah, and I need to observe their rights as the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they're a creation of Allah and now I'm entrusted with them as a responsibility. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Scattered Thoughts version 2.0. We're in a different setting and it's been a few years, it's been a minute. First, I want to thank you all for so kindly engaging with me on Instagram. I merely suggested that I'm bringing back Scattered Thoughts, and the response was quite overwhelming for me. And when I just posited, hey, what questions would you like me to address, there was just a barrage of questions that came through. So thank you. We're going to get back onto the horse and we're going to do a few Scattered Thoughts, inshallah, for the next little while, see how far we go and how long we can take this. I hope it's beneficial. Obviously, I can't answer every single one, so I'm going to be choosing and selecting to go through, and there's going to be a question per episode, so continue to send me your questions. The Instagram link is in the description, so you can go and follow me there. I'll be posting a question box on my Insta stories where you can submit your questions, and that's where I'll be choosing from. So yeah, let's just get going with it, I guess. The first question I want to go through now that we're back is from Januar. And Januar is asking, if I'm talking to know someone about marriage, how do I know we talked enough and we should do it? Januar, I think the first thing I would say about this question, or how to approach this, is if you want to know if you talked enough to someone, the first thing you have to establish is what were the foundations upon which you started to talk to them. If you're interested in someone for the sake of marriage, so the beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when a man came to him and he said that he's interested to marry this particular woman, he asked, did you see her? And he said, no, I didn't. And he said, no, go see her. You just لِيُؤْدَمَ بَيْنَكُمَا, just so that if there's a physical attraction. So there's a recognition that the first thing was a physical attraction. You found yourself attracted to this woman, and now you want to go marry her. Because that's what you're thinking. I would like my wife. I would like her to be my wife. But that's just merely based on physical attraction. The first thing you should do, if that's the case, is you go to her elder brother, you go to her father, and you ask, I'm interested in your daughter, to marry your daughter, but I would like to have a talk with her. Do I have permission from you to speak with her? That's the first thing. The family has to be in the know from the start. And then after that, when you speak with her, the beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that a woman is married for either beauty, wealth, status. فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ. Win over the one with religion, you'll be successful. Vice versa, the same thing applies to the men for the women. You're looking for somebody who's handsome and wealthy and well off and can take care of a family and all of that, but ultimately it comes down to religion. And religion here is not just about this person is adherent to their prayers and their fasting and all of that, which are essential. The religion here is about God consciousness, about taqwa. Is this person going to have taqwa in you with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That they're going to recognize that this individual in front of me is a creation of Allah, and I need to observe their rights as the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they're a creation of Allah and now I'm entrusted with them as a responsibility. So the first thing you concern yourself with is questions regarding uprightness, regarding spirituality. And I would urge you to consider their religious understanding or disposition to be something of a similar type to yours. By that I mean, if you happen to consider yourself a traditionalist type, Sufi type, tariqah following type, then you should be with someone who's like that. I think it would be a recipe for disaster if you go along and you let's say you're a Salafi type, and this is not to disparage any group, by the way. They're just saying that people have different dispositions and inclinations in the way that they approach religion. If you're of a Salafi type of mindset, then you should be with a Salafi. Why? Because even if you decided for the both of you that you can make it work, and she does her own thing, I'll do my own thing, we're both Muslim, alhamdulillah, we're praying and we'll put it together and we'll do that, but maybe she has certain understandings that I may disagree with, but live and let live. Once you guys have children and you want to raise them, and now you have that conflict, that is going to be a recipe for disaster. So the first thing I'll tell people is you need to get that sorted out and make sure that you're both on the same page when it comes to that. You're on the same page religiously. Future-wise, how do you see your life in marriage? So your questions are almost going to be like an interview type question. This is not about the fuzzy feelings and the stomach and the butterflies and all of that. You already established that you're physically attracted to one another. Now you're going to get down to the serious business of, we are about to start a company together. This is what a family is. And how do you see this company growing and persisting and going? Now, this company is going to also involve families. So, do we get along with each other's families to enough of a degree that we can actually live? And when we build our family, how do we see our family actually going forward? How do you see the future? How do you see career-wise? How do you see education-wise? How do you see the raising of the children? How do you see... And this is not a time for you to put your best foot forward and pretend that you are believing in something that you don't believe in. You need to actually be very upfront and straightforward about what it is that you want to do and how do you see your future. If you agree on all of the major things in this sense, who's going to be taking care of the finances? Who's going to be taking care of the household? Do you expect that, if she wants to go to work, are you okay with that? How about the raising of the children? All of that. You need to establish all these things. I would say that you actually don't need a very long time to establish these things and to know where everybody stands if everybody is honest with each other. And you have to ask the questions in a very direct, straightforward manner, and don't lie to yourself and think that, maybe I'll change her mind, or for the woman, I'll change his mind, I'll make this or that. You're talking to a grown adult who's already established themselves. They want to live in a particular way. They've lived in a particular way. There's going to be some challenges in the marriage when you begin. The first couple of years, growing pains, that they're going to be each of you is going to be exposing things to one another that is just, I didn't realize that what I do here could be problematic, and you're going to be trying to change some things to accommodate for the other. The last thing you want is fundamental, foundational things that they're non-negotiables to you that now become a problem, because that's what's going to end the marriage. And that's not what we're about. We want to build a family, we want to build a community, and you want to make it harmonious. And so you need to establish these things. Once you know that the big issues have been addressed, khalas, done. Jump in. Don't fall for the Hollywood narrative that, you're going to fall in love and you're going to like her more. None of that. You grow in love together once you know one another more. And there is nothing more powerful than actually being with somebody in the same household, sharing the same bed, sharing the same kitchen, all of it, for you to actually get beyond that initial physical attraction and really grow to love someone for who they are, properly speaking. And so don't wait for additional fuzzy feelings to come about. That's going to come through and grow through marriage. So you'll know once you've answered all these questions and you agree with each other on majority of the big issues, and I would say begin with your non-negotiables, like this is a non-negotiable for me and it has to be this way. Khalas, this is, if you agree, you move on. And if you don't agree, don't let your physical attraction blind you, and just say, look, as much as I would have loved for this to work, we're definitely not going to meet eye to eye on this. And so, good luck to you, and may Allah bless you with the best that He has created. And I pray the same for myself, but this is not going to work out between the two of us. And then you move on. But don't get into a drawn out, lengthy type of a situation, especially if you have families that don't agree, that don't want this to happen. If you find resistance, and that's what whole Salat al-Istikhara is about. When you do Salat al-Istikhara, and you're intending to marry somebody, istikhara is to seek the good. That's the literal translation of it. You're seeking the good. So if Allah's putting up blocks for you from the family, let's say, that the family doesn't want you, that the one that you're interested in marrying, they have all these red flags that are non-negotiables for you, and you're still persisting because, oh my God, they're so attractive, and I just really... In that case, you have these blocks, you just move away and you just look for something else and you continue on. Um, this, like I said, treat this as a serious transaction, because it is the most serious transaction. The beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam described marriage as half of your religion. It is a tariqah for those who don't have a tariqah. If you allow it to, it will actually train you, it will change you, it will make you a better person. But you have to let it, and you have to approach it in the right way, and you have to have wisdom with it. And I would say, seek counsel from your elders, seek counsel from your family, and trust the opinion of the mashayikh and the elders in your community about this, and ask others around them. And watch out how that person behaves, not just with you, but with other people. One of the red flags that you can kind of point out for the sisters out there, let's say you're going on a halal chaperone date, and you go to the restaurant or you go to the cafe and you see this man who you want to marry, and just observe how this person is treating the servants. If you see belittling, if you see dismissal, if you see an arrogance, that is red flag number one. I would just flee away from this individual if they're looking at themselves as higher than that individual who's serving them. So it's just little things like that. And look up, marriage courses that don't just talk about the rights and responsibilities, but also about the psychology of marriage and communication, and evaluate yourself and be honest with yourself. But to answer your question directly, I've already done that. I'm just going into a little bit of a tangent here because this is the first scattered thoughts after a while, and I'm a little bit nervous and excited that we're getting back to it. But alhamdulillah. Anyways, hope that your marriage is prosperous. I hope that you find the right person, and I hope that it is the right person for you and the right person for her. May Allah bless you both if it does go through, and if it doesn't, may Allah bless your unions with whoever it is that you end up with. وجزاكم الله خير, and we'll catch up in the next scattered thoughts.